Welcome back to Speaking with Confidence, a podcast that helps you build the soft skills that lead to real results. Communication, storytelling, public speaking, and showing up with confidence in every conversation that counts. I'm Tim Newman, a recovering college professor turned communication coach, and I'm thrilled to guide you on a journey to becoming a powerful communicator. I want to thank you all for supporting the show. It truly means the world to me. Last week, I mentioned I was going to share some updates on things that I've been working on. So here we go. We've talked a lot on the show about the importance of lifelong learning. And if you've been listening for a while, you know I don't just talk about it, I live it. Back in June, I joined the Maxwell Leadership Certified Team. I went in coaching and mentorship in speaking, coaching, and training. And let me tell you, it's been transformational. It's changed the way I approach my own speaking, and it's made me a better coach to others who want to become powerful communicators. Then in August, I went to the International Maxwell Conference. And after all that training, I became a Maxwell Leadership Team Certified Speaker. I even got to spend a few minutes with John Maxwell himself while filming a promo video. He gave me a solid endorsement, which was really pretty cool. I mean, if you're going to get an endorsement, John Maxwell isn't a bad choice. And along the way, I earned the Certified Virtual Presenter designation. And next week, I'm starting the Virtual Master Presenter certification. Because apparently, I don't believe in taking breaks. Oh, and I've also been working on a book. It's coming out in just a few weeks, and I'll keep you posted as we get closer. Now, let me be clear. I don't share any of this to brag. I share it because I want you to see something important. You control your actions. You control your future. If you want to get better at something, you have to work at it. So don't let your inner voice or the people around you keep you from chasing your potential. As you know, I close every episode with the same reminder. Your voice has the power to change the world. And it really does. But only if you actually use it. As part of my certification process, I had to create a 3-minute speech. It had to tell a story and teach a lesson. 3 minutes sounds easy, right? Maybe. But picture delivering that story in front of 3,000 people. That's when 3 minutes starts to feel like 30. So, would you prepare differently for 3,000 than you would for 5? I hope not. You should always prepare the same way. So here's how it works at IMC. Every year, about 150 people submit their 3-minute speeches. From there, it's cut down to 40 semifinalists. Your video has to be under 3 minutes, you have to hold a mic, and you're not allowed to use any notes. Then these 40 semifinalists deliver their speech live on Zoom with the same rules. From there, the top 10 get stage time in front of the entire crowd. This year, I made it to the semifinal round. I practiced that speech well over 100 times, and it never clocked over 2 minutes and 52 seconds. But I didn't advance. Why? Because on the live Zoom version, my speech clocked in at 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Yep, 2 seconds too long. And that was enough to take me out of the running, which just goes to show, even in the world of leadership, timing is everything. But honestly, the 10 finalists were fantastic. They all brought powerful, funny, and meaningful stories to the stage. But here's the thing. I submitted 7 different versions of that speech. I work with Roddy Galbraith, who is John Maxwell's own speaking coach. Yeah, you heard that right. John Maxwell has a coach. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't need coaching, well, you may want to rethink that. Throughout the process, Roddy really pushed me hard. He stretched me in ways I didn't expect. And that's what this is really about. It's about growth. So here's what we're going to do in this episode. I'm going to play my first submission, and then I'm going to walk you through Roddy's feedback. And then I'll share my final version. You'll hear how a simple 3-minute story can be transformed into something that really teaches. So let's get started. This is the first video I submitted. Let me ask you a question. What's the most nervous you've ever been before standing up and talking in front of a group of people? It could be a presentation, a meeting, or even a toast at a wedding. Now flip it. What's the most nervous you've seen someone? Like full-blown panic mode, palms sweating, voice shaking, maybe even physically shaking. But I can top it. Let's rewind to the late 80s, mid-90s. Back before PowerPoint, before laptops, before TikTok turned everyone into a presenter. I'd just gotten out of the Army, where I was in the 82nd Airborne Division as an infantry soldier. And I had just started in college, and like everyone else, I had to take a public relations or human communications course. Does anybody remember that class? How awesome was that? The first day I walk in, I get the syllabus, I read it, and I say to myself, "Self, I'm not doing this." And as soon as class was over, I went to the registrar and dropped the class. You see, I'm the master of getting out of things I don't want to do. If something I don't want to do, I'll find a way to get out of it. Give it to someone else, pretend it doesn't exist, make up some excuse, really, whatever it takes. So fast forward to my senior year. Go visit my advisor, and she says, "Tim, if you want to graduate, you got to take the class." I said, "Dang it," or something along those lines. So I sign up again, I go to class, and get pretty much the exact same syllabus. And then the day comes when it's my turn to speak for the first time. I'm nervous, I'm sweating, and probably even shaking a little bit too. The presentation is only 5 minutes, and I don't even remember what it's about. But I've got my notes scribbled on 3x5 cards. My slides are on this clear plastic sheet for the overhead projector. Yeah, that's how long ago it was. I put my notes on the wooden lectern that is sitting on the table in front of the classroom. I opened my mouth and promptly threw up in front of the entire class. Yeah, that happened. But the good news is I did get out of that first presentation. Now, fast forward again. Today, I'm a recovering college professor. I teach, I coach, and I speak in front of audiences regularly. So how do you go from throwing up in front of an entire class to standing on stage, confident, clear, and actually enjoying it? It starts by recognizing the real issue. That anxiety, that tight-chested panic we feel before we speak, it's not the fear of the audience. It's a story we're telling ourselves. It's the fear of being judged, of messing up, of not being perfect. But here's the thing. Being perfect isn't relatable. Vulnerability is. Honesty is. And messy is. So if you've ever felt that same nervous energy, that voice in your head saying, "Who do you think you are to be up here?" I get it. I still live it. But I want to help you find your way past it without needing to carry this around with you. Let's change your mindset from what's the worst thing that can happen to what's the best thing that can happen. And let's have some fun while we do it. Let's get clear on your message. Let's make you a confident, powerful communicator who wants to share and grow your influence. Thank you. Here is Roddy's feedback.
Hey Tim, well done, good job. So great to see you on video. You obviously come across very confident, and it sounds like you've thought a great deal about your message and you're sharing it very, very fluidly. It's a little, given that you're good, I'll kind of point out a few things that maybe could help take it to the next level. I think we could have a bit more variety in the delivery. And 3.5 minutes, it feels longer than it needs to be, even though you need to get it down to 250 really or under, because it has to be under 3 minutes. So you want to give yourself a little bit of leeway. So for stage time, you need to get it down to 250 or under really, but you've got a few weeks to get there. But a bit more variety in the delivery, I think, would be good. Letting your personality out a little bit more, smiling. I like some of the deadpan humor, but it would be nice to see a bit more variety. I would skip the beginning about, what's the most nervous you've ever been? What's the most nervous you've ever seen? I don't know that it adds too much. Tells us what's coming, but it's not a huge deal. But I would just start straight into the story. And late 90s, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Thank you for your service, by the way. I think just decide when it was. When did you leave, and what you're doing. I like it caught me by surprise. So you throw up in front of the entire class. That's probably the best bit. That bit I like. Recovering college professor. Make it about you and your growth. Don't make it about the audience. It's better if you stick with you and what you've learned. Relatability is huge. Not being perfect. People don't speak perfectly. So that kind of vulnerability, I think, is a great way to connect. It's kind of conversational, but it's a little too kind of laid back and samey. So I think you need to mix it up a little bit. Try and let your personality out a little bit more. Get it down under 3 minutes ultimately. And then think about one big thing that we can take from this that you learn, that you're sharing your journey from. I think that would be a great kind of goal for this. There's not that much. The best bit about it is you throwing up. And so I feel like you're a strong speaker with lots of stories, and this is the first one. So I think you probably want to try, a few more if you can in the time you've got, and then pick your favorite to focus in on for the final run. So I'll talk a little bit about timings on the call. So strong, but I feel like it needs more, mainly in the delivery. Also, like the point from the audience's perspective, what are they going to take from this? Don't make it about the audience. Make it about you and what they're going to take from your growth, your journey. And really we want one thing. Great job. Well done, Tim. Looking forward to it. Strong start. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless.
Roddy was really spot on with everything he said. Throughout the process, the one big thing that I struggled with was the one message I wanted the audience to get. And did you notice he also said I should shoot for 2 minutes and 50 seconds or under? There's that 2 seconds again. Now here's the final live version. It was August of 1989. I just finished 3 years as an infantry soldier, the 82nd Airborne. I was 21. I already knew everything, and off to college I went. Like every other college freshman, Public Speaking 101 shows up in my schedule. But I already knew how to give a good presentation, so I didn't need it. I dropped the class. Fast forward to my senior year, my advisor says, Tim, if you want to graduate, you got to take it. So I gave in, and the day comes to give my first presentation. And I'm a wreck. I'm nervous. I'm sweating. I'm probably even shaking a little bit too. I've got transparencies for the overhead projector. Yeah. Remember that ancient thing? This is pre-PowerPoint, pre-laptop, and definitely before TikTok. I put my notes on the lectern in the front of the room. I opened my mouth and promptly threw up in front of the entire class. Yeah, that happened. My professor was horrified, but the students got a good laugh out of it. And just like that, I went from paratrooper to the guy who puked in speech class. You see, up until that point, success for me came from work ethic. I was never the fastest, the strongest, or the smartest, but no one was going to outwork me. I had that, oh yeah, watch me, chip on my shoulder. If you told me I couldn't, or hit me with, I bet you won't, I'd prove you wrong every single time. And I'm sure you can imagine some of the situations I got myself into with that mentality. But this was different because the voice telling me I couldn't do it was mine. And this didn't have anything to do with work ethic. I'd always wanted to be a teacher. But how is that going to happen if I can't even give a 5-minute speech without throwing up? And it took time. But eventually, I realized the problem wasn't the speech. The problem was me making it about me and trying to be perfect. I had to shift my focus away from trying to look and sound good to providing value. I had to be open to letting the people trying to help me actually help me and not trying to do things my way all the time. I had to be open to the coaching. I had to be open to actually implementing their suggestions. And I had to admit that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't the smartest person in the room. Because being perfect, that's not relatable. Vulnerability is, honesty is, and messy is. Today, I'm a recovering college professor and still obviously a work in progress. And every now and again, that voice still kind of creeps in, says, who do you think you are to be doing this? And I just laugh because I know exactly who I am. I'm the guy who puked in speech class, and now I teach people how not to do that. Thank you. You can see the improvements of the messaging, of the words, the variety of the delivery, and the facial expressions. Without Roddy's help, there's no way my final version would have been anywhere near the quality it was. And that's the thing. If you want to grow as a communicator, it's going to take some work. So let me ask you, what's holding you back from your next breakthrough? If you're ready to take that step, I'd be glad to help you get there. Remember, we're looking for progress, not perfection. That's all for today. Be sure to visit Speaking with Confidence podcast to get your free ebook, The Top 21 Challenges for Public Speakers and How to Overcome Them. You can also register for the Formula for Public Speaking course. Always remember, your voice has the power to change the world. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.